Okay. Good evening and welcome to today's live chats on the Beyond the Forwards page. Okay, I am Cynthia Adefarakan, and tonight or this evening I am hosting again another live chats edition at the Beyond the Forwards live chat series, and it's tagged carving a niche. Okay, and today is carving a niche in business. Once again, for those who might be joining us for the very first time, Beyond the Forwards is a skill-based organization, and this time around we're trying to do something a bit different like we've done for all the other years that we've been in operation. We're trying to do an online skill acquisition program, and that will take off shortly. And but not just to be just known for the fact that we just train people on hands-on skills and the rest of them. We decided to use this opportunity, and at this point in time of human history, with the current COVID-19 experience and the rest of them, we decided that we are actually going to put in a bit, pump in a bit of information, and to see how we can equally help those we have trained in time past and those who are also going to train again, and see how we can really help them, not just help them, but also help the society at large. Okay, and we've had several live chats from last week. I'm saying all this for the sake of those who are just joining us. We've had several live chats. We've had live chats with someone who is a guru in homeschooling and online schooling, and she came in, and these are very young, dynamic Nigerians. We've had one with someone who is also very good in the event industry. And we had one with someone who though has a very wonderful company, but also try to tell us about some kind of skills that we actually need, skills that will help us to be resilient and successful in this time that we are in. And yesterday we had a very wonderful one. Remember her? For those who were with us yesterday, she was very wonderful, because she, being a young, still an undergraduate, was able to take us all through a difficult terrain. She had carved a niche for herself in providing 3D instructional materials, for young learners, and it was a very wonderful moment. Today, our guest is no other person but another very wonderful Nigerian. Okay, and then she is the visionary as well as the principal consultant at a company, a consulting firm known as Beamaz Consulting. She's worked in a bank before. She once was a banker. She had worked in more than one bank, and then finally left and started off her own consulting firm. So today I'll be hosting this dynamic and wonderful, intelligent mind that I'm sure by the end of this discussion or this discourse, it's going to really change your perspective and my perspective as well. And I am excited about it. I don't know about you, but I know you'll be excited too, that we have people like this teaching us, things. She's she's almost okay. And wow. Okay. We're waiting for her to come up, and all right. So we are having Joke, the person of Joke Aderibigbe, come in. She will soon join us, and I'm very sure we'll be all glad that she did. Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Hi, Adefarakan.
Hi, Joke. Good to meet you. Good to see
How are
you.
you doing?
All right. Today's going to be wonderful. So, I was
Hi,
telling
how
them
are you
about,
doing? What's done?
I'm fine. And you, how are you too? How are you doing? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Oh, I'm good too.
Okay. Now, how are you doing? So we could just, if you're ready, we could shoot. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure my screen is well positioned. 1 minute. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I
Mm,
think it's good now.
okay.
Can you see me well?
Yeah, I can. I can.
Okay. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we're good now.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right, viewers, we are ready to take on Joke Aderibigbe, and like I said, she is the principal consultant at Beamaz Consulting, and like I wrote, she eats, she breathes, she drinks, and she thinks consulting. It flows in her blood. So let me not say too much so that it will not seem as if I'm exaggerating. You will hear for yourself. And so, once again, we want to welcome you, Joke, to this wonderful event. And I want to start and say that Joke happens to be an ex-student of the prestigious International School, University of Lagos. And
Yes, so
and so I know that he has a lot to tell us. So let's just hear about your journey through ISL briefly and then University of Lagos so that we could feel relaxed before we go to the main business of the day. So over to you, Joke.
okay, yeah. My journey in ISL, I mean, it was a fantastic journey, but it won't be. But it was part of a long story. You know, we used to. In fact, let me say, I was born and bred in the University of Lagos. You
Okay.
know, so like my parents used to work there. So I went to not just ISL. I went to University of Lagos Women Society.
Okay.
I went to Staff School, University of Lagos. Then I
Wow.
went to International School, University of Lagos, which is the ISL.
All
Then
right.
I went to, then I went for my first degree in economics in the
Okay.
University of Lagos, aka
Lagos.
Unilag. Then I now went back there again to do my master's,
Oh
also in
yeah. So,
economics.
so it's a long one.
You know,
Okay.
in
So
fact, even my youth service, I almost served. I served in a bank. I almost served. In fact, it almost got bad. I was like, come and serve in one of the banks in the University of Lagos. I said, no, 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 no. Let me go out small. Let me go out and see what's happening
and see
outside.
what's happening outside.
My life
Wow.
was just revolved around the University of Lagos
Lagos.
campus. I said, no,
Oh,
no, no, no. That was very interesting. It was very interesting growing up. You know,
wow.
it was like a community. So a lot of us
Mm.
grew up together and it was like, you know, we lived in high rise.
Oh,
Therefore, we
yeah.
left high rise block T. Then we left high rise, but we now moved to the registrar's quarters and all that. So all of us like grew up together like that. So I'm sure like your children as well. I'm sure they can
Mm-hmm.
attest to that kind of
I can attest to
growing
that.
up. So it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, yeah.
And the beauty of it is that all the people that we grew up together with, we are all still in touch with each other. It was such like a small community. I remember we used to live block C, flat 6. So I would stand on the corridor on the balcony and be shouting to my friends, "Hey, Beyonde, who's in flat 10 upstairs?"
Oh,
It was
wow.
fun.
Wow.
It
Wow,
was
that's a
fun
great
growing
one.
up.
I mean, that's memory,
Yeah.
memory down the lane.
Yeah.
Okay.
And thank God
Now
for
you
Facebook, thank God for Instagram. That we now see
mm,
ourselves and we're like, wow, it's been
yeah,
an awesome
very,
journey.
very
Yeah.
beautiful. Thank God. Okay, now you read economics. You read
Yes.
economics, did masters
Yep.
there, worked in the bank. So how come you found
Yep.
yourself in consulting?
Oops. In fact, I get people ask me that question virtually all the time. When I tell them that I left banking, they're like, "What? You left banking? Why?" I mean, well, just like you said, I worked one of the like I always say the two best test banks. Forgive my English, oh, I know you know, new
Right.
generation. If I call the name, the orange color, it was like a prestige and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I just realized that. Yeah, I was, and those were banks at that time, one of the highest paying banks at that time. So you could say I had everything. The money was coming in. I mean, just, all you have to do when you go to an event is just show your cards, just show your complimentary cards. I work
Yeah.
in this, and everything like everything just opens up for you. But I kind of just realized that after a while that there's this kind of unease to get on the inside of you when you're like, okay, yes, the money is there, but it's not really giving you that kind of joy, that kind of happiness that you need, and like if your heart kept yearning for other things, and
Mm.
at the end of the day, the banking is not as glamorous as people think it is. It takes a lot of work. It takes
Wow.
you. I mean, the banks like I worked at, like I said, the new generation banks that I had to that took quote unquote, let me say your soul. I lived on the mainland. I was in the head office. So for me
Wow.
I had to get to work for like 7:30. So every day, if I leave the house like 5 minutes to 5, I will be late. So I have to do
Mm.
at least 4:45 every single day. I could
Yeah.
get to the office for like 7 o'clock. I was on the island. And then at the end of the day, when I want to get back home in the evening, sometimes I leave the office like 9:10. Sometimes because of traffic, sometimes
Mm-hmm.
because we're actually still working. Maybe when we have our annual, what we call our monthly, what we call MPRs, where I was marketing. I've always been in marketing. So where you have your targets and your goals, I was when you're doing. I remember one particular day I was actually on Third Mainland at 12 midnight because we
Wow.
had an NPR session the following day. We had to make sure that we presenting how you met your budget to the MD, to the whole of the executive management. Are you meeting your
Mm-hmm.
budget? Blah blah
Yeah.
blah. So you have to make sure all your figures were straight and all that. I was on Third Mainland 12 midnight. I got home like 12:30, and before
Wow.
by the next 3 hours I was on the road again to get back to the office for 7 o'clock. So
Wow.
banking takes a lot out of you. I mean, most time, in my house, sometimes there was a time that nobody saw me in that house because I'm out of the house before they wake up. And by the time I
And
come back to the house, they are asleep. So
wow.
except they purposely decide to wake up for me.
Me.
So we
Oh.
can go for weeks without seeing each other.
Mm.
Because sometimes most weekends I was also in the office as well. It got to the point I wasn't even going to church anymore. Can you imagine? Because I'm like,
Wow.
the day I'm not going to church on, the day I'm not going to work on Sunday, I want to just sleep, rest, relax. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Until I was like, until one day, it was the Holy Spirit that called my himself and said, Adejoke, if this was your boss telling you to come to work on Sunday, are you not going to go? But because it's me, where there are no physical consequences and all that, you can
Mm.
say you're not.
Mm.
Well, I can't. It kind of that was like what gave me a kind of a paradigm shift. And I was like, I made a promise to myself that no matter how tired I am, truly, if they say come to work on this day, I will go
You
to
will
work
go. Yeah.
because they're paying my bills. I'm going to go to
Mm.
work, and no matter how
Yeah.
tired I am, I must go to the office. You know.
That's true.
So in spite of all this, so it wasn't that kind. So there was money, but at the end of the day, like I said, it took a lot, and for me, I wasn't getting that. Money wasn't doing it. Money wasn't doing it for me. My heart was still searching for other things. And thank God
Yeah.
I had a mentor at that time, one of the banks, one of the EDs, and he just said, okay, come, sit down and do what we call a SWOT analysis.
Mm.
That's the S stands for SWOT. The S
Okay.
stands for your strengths,
Your
W stands
strength.
for your weaknesses,
Mm-hmm.
O stands for the opportunities. Then threat stands for C stands for the threats. We usually use this in consulting language when we are doing a business analysis for somebody, but it's like you can apply it to your personal development part as well. So sit down and
Yeah.
see, what are you good at? What are your areas of strength? And now start from there. So I just took a whole day off. I took time off work that day. The following day, I just sat down, asked him, okay, what are you good at? And I remember that, okay, first of all, like I said, I like helping people solve problems. I mean, if there's anything in there, I just call Joke. Joke will be there to come and help you do it. And I like talking, as you can get. I like talking. I like teaching people things. I
Mm.
like teaching. I like teaching. And then I have an analytical mind. I love mathematics. Just give me anything. I sit there, I break it down. And until I get my answer, I'm not standing up on my seat. That was how. So like, you have an analytical mind, you like to help people solve problems, you like to talk, you like to, you so like one of the areas I loved in my work was because of I was in marketing. So
Mm.
I had to develop a relationship with my customers. So I love that part. Every day when I'm going to go and get that money, I would just go to the office, sit down, we bonded with them and all that. So when I do, there's something called consulting. I was like, okay, what's that? There's something called consulting, and it's all about problem solving, helping people solve problems. And there are different areas of consulting, management consulting, there's business consulting, different areas. So just sit down and just do more research on it. And that's how I now went on the journey to find out what consulting was all about.
Wow.
And then luckily for me, God always has a way of arranging things. Everything,
Mm.
like I always said, my life has what we call the God factor, because everything was always arranged, arranged, and like God would have it. The one of the the last bank that I worked, the person that actually left, that I went to go and replace, quote and unquote, actually left to go to. Well, let me say, she was going out with somebody who also worked in the bank, and they were about to get married. And there's this person that says you cannot
You
work
cannot,
together.
yeah, work together.
So she has to resign to now go to work in a consulting outfit.
Wow.
So one day I was now talking to her husband, who also happened to one of my very, very good friends. And I was telling him that, my very, very, this is very like tight. So we were talking and we were sharing, and I told him what I was going through, and he was like, do you know what? My wife works in a consulting firm now. And let me talk to her and find out if they have a vacancy or something. And that was how it happened. They had a vacancy, and so just give me your CV. Let me help you submit your CV. I thought it was going to be smooth sailing. I gave him my CV. I submitted my CV. They called me like the following week. I said, first of all, I should come and do G maths. I said, G what? Me that I've left school. I left school. So I kept wondering. I thought we'll just come and do interview now. Oral interview, I can talk now. But as it was, God just kept arranging it. And that was how I found my way in consulting. And so what people always ask me, what's consulting about? And I always tell
Yeah.
people, all about problem solving.
Okay.
Now the way it is
It
that
was one of the questions I was actually going to ask you. What's concerning all about? And so
problem
you're already
solving.
problem solving.
Yeah.
Problem
And like I always tell
solving.
people, when I talk to, maybe like when I talk to the youth, people in universities, maybe final year, I tell them that it's all about, someone has a wristwatch and says, but he doesn't have the time, or doesn't have the skill, or doesn't have the experience to reach the time. And he says, Joker, please, what time is it? And I say, oh, can I have your wristwatch? So he gives me his wristwatch. I look at the time for him. I tell him, oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's 5:30. Okay. Oh, thank you very much. He pays me money for telling him the time using his
Yeah.
wristwatch, and I give him
Wow.
back his wristwatch. In a simple analogy, that's what consulting is all about. That's what
Wow.
it's all about. So if you
Hmm.
actually have a passion for helping people solve problems, for helping people, see things, like I said, it's things that either they don't know how to solve by themselves, or
Yeah.
because they don't have the skill or the expertise, or
Okay.
they don't have the time to solve it, or
Mm-hmm.
different things to just bring you in. And for me, I love doing it, and you're paying me for it. There's nothing as beautiful as
Oh,
that,
that's a very
you
good
know.
one. No, that's a very, very good one. Very good one. So,
Mhm.
so that's consulting. Now, okay, let's take one question, one thing that you said, one of the threads that you said, and let me allow you to
This
expatiate
line
on it.
is becoming very faint. I can hardly.
Hear me?
It's becoming faint.
Okay, what I was trying to say is I said from out of what you said now about, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Okay, yeah, I can hear. Yeah, I can hear you.
Clearly?
Yeah, I can hear you. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, somebody, you said somebody might not know, might have the thing there, like the wristwatch. The person has the wristwatch, but the person does not know how to read or tell the time. So what you do is actually to help the person find, okay, that's help to solve that problem. Now, so many people have ideas,
Mm-hmm.
but they might have big ideas, like Reverend Sam Adeyemi said. He said ideas rule the world. Now, they have very good ideas, but then some of them might even know how to, they know what to do with the idea, but they don't know how to maybe convert it into something that can make business or proceeds out of that idea. So what should they do?
Okay, like I said, it depends on what you want to do with your idea. You know, you have some ideas are just like social, quote unquote, social enterprise kind of ideas to help solve a humanitarian problem. You know,
Mhm.
there's a problem you solve that you think, okay, I have an idea, I can help solve this problem. Maybe hunger in the world, in Africa, those kind of things. And there's some that are for business. If it's for a business, that means that there has to be two key things for an idea to be able to for you to be able to turn an idea into a business. There are two basic elements you must have. The first thing is the what element, which is what problem do you want to solve with that idea?
Mm.
What needs do you want to meet with that idea? What are you
Mm.
trying to achieve with that idea? Because basically,
Mhm.
like say, what is a business? In simple words, a business is an entity that produces something of value, which could be either a product or a service. You know, but they are producing it, and people are willing to exchange their money. People are willing to give you their money for that thing that you are producing. Do you
Okay.
understand? And like
Yeah.
I read economics. So one of the definitions of money that they taught us in school is that money is an exchange of value. So that
Mm.
idea that you have, and something value is so, like I said, there has either you're trying to meet a need that people are willing to pay you money for,
Mhm.
or there is a need, or there is a pain. You're trying to help people, you know, you're trying to give a solution to a pain people are going through, or something that gives people joy, like a gaming now. I heard like gaming is one of the industries that's actually getting so much money right now because people are like, for instance, now COVID, people are at home, they don't know have anything to do. People are there playing games and like making so much money in it. So I'm saying, what are you trying to do? There has to be something you're trying to do, and that thing that you're trying to do, you must have people who are willing
Mm.
and able to pay. You know, that's what we call effective demand in economics. Because
Mm.
if people want it, they want it, but they're not willing to give you money for it.
Mm.
It's just be an idea. Like
Mm.
just going to be running a non-for-profit business. So there
Mm.
must be, so it must have the words. What am I trying to do?
Okay.
What am I trying to do? What problem am I trying to solve? What needs am I trying to meet? You know, the
Mm.
what part. The other part is the who. Who are you
Mm.
trying to solve it for? Because
Okay.
when you ask people, who are you? Who are the people you're trying to target with your idea, with the business? And they say everybody, and I'm like, there's nothing like everybody. Every business must, because everybody is like, it's like everybody from a baby, a toddler, to a 70-year-old person to an 80-year-old person, but they all have different needs. But so you have to be able to identify, who do I want to sell this thing to?
Two.
The
Yeah.
who. So are they like, so as in, are they going to be women who are in their, who are teenagers? Are they going to be women who are in their early careers? Are they going to be middle-aged people? Are they going to be the elderly? Are they going to, you know, so they have different kinds of people. But even if it's safe, like let me take a typical product like Indomie noodles. Do you
Mm.
understand? Everybody
Yeah.
would say it's Indomie, but really, Indomie has different target markets. And if you check all the adverts actually targeted at the, as in, if it's this segment I'm trying to meet, an advert is targeted at those people. If you see, if it's for the children, you see, I love my Indomie, as in it's my Indomie. So you see it's targeted at them. If it's for the young bachelors who do not know, who cannot cook or who don't have to cook, you see the hungry man. Do you understand? So there's always a strategy. All businesses have to come with the strategy. So it's not just no. Inside the there is the who is your market. Find out who you're trying to sell to, because they all have different languages. So understanding who you want to sell to will help you know, okay, how do I target them? How do I find them? Where are they? And are they willing to pay for this thing? Like for instance, let me give my own example as a typical example. When I now left consulting to start my own business, I left because we're also doing recruitment at the same time. And can you imagine, would like for every single position we post out as a vacancy, one position we could get nothing less than 5,000 CV within an hour of posting one vacancy. We are bombarded with so many CVs. So we now have to go through the stress of with the CVs, and then we now finally shortlist to like 100 or something. And then you are ready waiting for these people with the nice CVs only for them to come. Someone who says that I'm an accountant of 15 years now comes before you, and you ask the person, accountant, please tell me, what is the balance sheet? I mean, I've seen somebody who is an accountant who said, what's the balance sheet? And I was like, a balance sheet is this is the person was doing, and I will never forget that thing in my. A balance sheet is I think it's a record of your income and expenses, and we're like, hello, an accountant for 10 years in an organization. So what have you been doing there? So what do you do there for them? So a lot of people, either they have just 1 year experience that they've multiplied, they keep repeating and multiplying like 15 times. So it's 1 year times 15. But they don't go and upgrade their skills. They don't go and learn more. They don't focus on what it is that they need to do. Or for instance, you have a fresh graduate who has been praying to God for an opportunity. You finally call you for a fresh an entry level interview, and ask you simple questions. Can we meet you? And they are blank. They can't even introduce themselves to us. They don't understand what we are looking for in interviews.
Are you sure?
Tell me, what are you? I mean, it was a painful experience for me, and I was like, you see somebody with first class graduates from a let me call university so before I get into trouble.
Don't call. So it doesn't seem well.
I have some simple questions. For instance, I am putting questions like, what are your areas? What are your, like I was talking about doing the SWOT analysis, your areas of strength, weakness, and you ask somebody, what's your area? What would you say are your areas of strength? And just nothing. I asked, okay, why do you want to work for maybe the company you are recruiting for? I want to work for them because I need money. And I'm like, because you need money. So then you really understand that any job vacancy that you see there's actually a need somewhere that somebody is trying to fill, and they're looking for somebody who would help them fill that position. Going back to the exchange of value, there must be something you are bringing on board that they will not be able to pay you money for. Because that's one exchange. What are you giving me? What am I exchanging you for? I'm looking for the position of an accountant, but you have no clue what accounting is all about. I'm looking for the position of whatever position, but you have no idea what it's all about. And then you say you want to come and work for me, you don't know what I am all about. You don't know what you don't know what my company is all about. So how will you know what you can contribute? How will you know what you can bring on board? That's all about value. And particularly the world we are in now, nobody is going to pay you money. I mean, you can see what's going on with this COVID now. Some people are losing their jobs, they've lost jobs. And I was actually talking to one of my friends, and he said, okay, do you know what? A lot of companies are going to do this. If you have a staff that you have not spoken to since the lockdown, when we are in lockdown, since the lockdown started, that means the person is going. Because that means the person has no value to add to you. Because a lot of businesses were working virtually during this period. So
Yeah,
if I was working virtually and I had no need to call you and say, oh, can you help me do this? Can you help me do this? That means I can run my business without you. That means I
without
have
you.
been paying you money for
Ah,
nothing. So a lot of businesses, I mean, that's what they're actually doing now, sitting down and doing a what we call pivoting, doing a thinking of, okay, how do we readjust these things? Because COVID opened people's eyes to see that there's some things that you are paying money for that you don't have to pay
hmm,
money for. And the first area is your staff, is the
hmm,
people that are working with you. So that was
hmm,
how I decided I left to start Beamaz Consulting. Okay, to run an employability school. Let me just go about training people on what employers are looking for. You know what employers are looking for, so you can prepare yourself for it. But one thing
okay.
I knew with it was that the people I want to start my business for cannot, they're looking for work. How will they pay me?
Pay you.
Remember,
Yeah.
it's a business. This time around,
Hmm,
people are not giving me money. I have to think of how do I generate the money at least to
hmm,
sustain myself.
hmm,
To sustain myself. But I knew that what I was going to do, there was no quote and unquote. I could not even see the money because people I was my who were people who could not afford to pay, who could not afford to pay me because they were looking for work. But
work.
I had this passion. I was like, no. I just have to do this, you know. So that was how I started. But so I knew I was going to do this. So I had been working towards it. I had been saving
Hmm,
because I knew that, like I was already working in consulting, so I knew what it took. We used to help businesses solve problems, used to help businesses grow. So I knew what it took to run a business. I knew that for instance, don't think that a business will start making money, quote and unquote, for like maybe like 6 months. You have to run
okay.
on your personal funds. You have to run on, do things from your savings. So I had been preparing. I had been
Hmm,
saving my money. I had been saving my money. I had been saving my money that, and for as long as it was going to take
yeah.
until my business started, until I got clarity. For me, like I said, I can never take out the God factor. So I didn't resign until I got this peace within me that don't worry,
Okay.
go ahead,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead. So I went
Yeah.
ahead and I got the habit. I got the scholarship to go to LBS to do an entrepreneurial course. And
Okay.
my class was for business women, it was for business women in business. And when we were there, a class of about 50 people, I realized I was teaching us structures, how to structure your business, run your business. And I realized that virtually 90% of people in that room didn't know anything about structuring businesses.
Structuring business. Wow.
They were doing trading. I buy and sell, buy and sell. At the end of the day, where's the money? They don't know. Nothing. And that was how I realized that, oh, okay. I could help this business do this thing. I can help you do your HR manual. I can help you do this. I can help you do this. And that was how Mr. Adefarakan, from that place, I started my consulting business. Remember, I said I started because I was started with an employability school. But like I
Yes.
said, and I could not see how I was going to be funding it, quote and unquote, apart from my own personal funds. But as it
Mm-hmm.
happened, I was in a classroom that had people that had a problem, and that I had a solution to that problem.
That problem. Hmm.
I had a solution to that problem. And what happened? Like we said, money is an exchange of value.
Value. Yeah.
There was a need, I had a solution, and what happens? What happened? I provide my solution, they pay me my money. I provide my solution, they pay me my money. I was from now the money I was getting from this, I was now using to fund my
Your
employability
own
passion.
passion.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
that's it. My employability school, and all that. But luckily, along the line, we've been able to change strategies, So what we
Hmm.
now do, that we now also run a recruitment firm, whereby what we do now is that it is the firm. So we train people, but it's these companies that we consult for that now, like quote and unquote, pay for the people that we are
Pay for
training.
the training. Wow.
Exactly. So along the line, different strategies started coming up, and we're able to and that's how a business is. I tell people, just start. Once they're able to answer those two questions, what do you want to do? Who do you want to do it for? They're clear about them. Start. And as just like God told Moses, take the steps, put your feet inside the water. Once you take those steps, the water will pass.
That's true.
You begin to walk. You begin to walk. So that's how I started, And what happened, like I said, other things the doors began to open, opportunities, I began to see and recognize opportunities, and I began to enter. And that's what happens. And then I say, okay, this is not working. I have to take it here. I have to do this.
Wow.
But I started with that passion I had on the inside, that need, that pain in my heart. That's how I started. And along the line, God now began to open my eyes to see, okay, how can you fund this? How can you fund this? And I changed strategy. And I mean, it's been a very interesting journey. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's how you take your idea into a business. Answer those two questions. What and who? Yes.
What and who?
What and who?
Wow.
And start.
That's a great one. And then like what you said now is like, if you are not afraid to start, as you start, many times probably somebody's mindset is that if I do this thing now, what if it does not work? What if it does not work? But when you now start, there will be room for amendments and adjustments.
I'm telling you. And the ones, even if it doesn't work, as you've learned, okay, this is not going to work, then that means I'm going to do something else. As in, this is not going to work. But the mindset you should always have is that even though this is not going to work, how can I make it work? How can I make it work?
It's not working. How can I make it work? You know why I'm asking these questions? I know this is like free consulting, because
no
for
problem,
everybody,
it's for you now.
but because you see, recently there's been some schools are asking for school fees, even now, and parents are agitated, knowing that where is the school fees? People are being laid off and the rest of them. And then you have been saying something that has been like, bringing recurring decimal. You said you started an employability school. Now, with what has happened with COVID, are we still looking at employability? Or is there another dimension to it all?
So I didn't get the question. So
I said
the line network.
Okay, you have been talking about employability, that you started an employability school because you saw a need that graduate people who are coming to look for a job, they don't even know the value to bring into the organizations.
Yeah.
Now, some of them have that value to bring in. But with the advent of COVID-19, the terrain has changed. The structure has changed.
Yeah.
What do people need now to face the life that we are now going to meet in the post-COVID-19?
See how I'm sitting like this, because you've asked a fantastic question. Yes, I started with an employability school, which is us helping people get jobs. But we're no longer doing employability like that again. And employability has turned to employing ability. AKA employ your ability. Because like we just said, now people have lost jobs. A lot of people are losing jobs. Some people are on half salary. But I just realized that everybody, I have this slogan I would say, nobody has a reason to be unemployed. Because everybody has gotten an ability. There's something you have that people are looking. There's somebody out there who needs that thing that you have. Who needs that thing that you have? In fact, there's something, everybody has something. In fact, and there's this model. I always talk with different models.
Please tell me.
There's this small model that now came up with that, for when I talk to young guys, young people, as in to make it easy. I call it the Kiss Once model. Kiss Once. KISS Once. ONCE.
Kiss Once
It's
model.
it's an acronym.
Okay. Where
Where
K is for?
Where the case is for knowledge.
Okay.
Okay, so it's like it's a two-sided model. Where the first
Okay.
one, which is the kiss, is the internal. Where the
Okay.
one is the external. So the internal has to do with you recognizing what you have within
What you
you
have in you.
in you, yes.
Yeah.
But the one has to do with the external opportunities that are there. So let's
That are
focus.
there.
Let's just focus on the us ourselves. So
Okay.
the K stands for knowledge.
Knowledge.
No? Yes. What do you know? And everybody knows something. Do you understand? And
Yeah.
this is how when you say knowledge, a lot of people tend to think knowledge is just book. I tell people knowledge is not just book. Knowledge is like what I have termed the three H. The first one is the head knowledge. The second one is the heart knowledge. The third one is the hands knowledge. Your
Hands.
hands knowledge.
Okay. Wow.
Yes, the hands knowledge. So let me start with the hands knowledge, which is what you are doing in Beyond the Four Walls. So let me just say thank you so much for your Beyond the Four Walls. I mean, my niece, my nephew have passed through your Beyond the Four Walls, so I know what kind of impact you are making. So that's the other, the H, which is your hand, has to do with skill. Yes. And everybody has a skill. There's something you know how to do. Either it comes from the inside, or you go and learn it, like you come and learn in Beyond the Four Walls. And the skill doesn't have to be when I people say skill, people think, hey, skill, and there's a time I was having a training and I said skill, people like, oh, Miss Joken, I don't have any skill. I was like, hey, let's calm down. Let's calm down there. Skill has to do with something that you know how to do well. Something like a skill that you know how to do well. A skill as simple as you knowing how to combine colors, you knowing how to dress well. I mean, I was going through Instagram one day on somebody's page, and you know where people come and say, they beg for money. Please, I need 1,000 naira for my I'm a student. I don't have money. 1,000 naira. So, but the picture I saw of the girl, I was like, this doesn't look like somebody who should be begging for money now. So I went to her page, Mr. Adefarakan. Would you believe that this girl had up to like 10,000 followers? A young girl, maybe she was still in school. And she's always doing pictures of dresses very, very well. Knows how to combine colors, always looking good, tell people, combine this, the effect I'm going to have. And people keep asking her, how do you combine these colors? How do you do it? And I'm like, my God, this girl is sitting on money and she doesn't know it. What triggers my brain when people ask you how, that means there is a need somewhere. That means people want to know there's a gap. People want to know something, and you have that thing they want to know. You have the answer to that thing. So when they start asking you how, how do you do this? How do you do this? Let a trigger be going off in your head. That means that there is a need. So tell somebody, okay, guys, I'm doing a free session on how to combine, and then what she does is that, hey, the beauty of it was that the clothes were not new clothes, so she would go to bend down, as in go to maybe, I don't know where she used to go to, and she would tell them straight that I got this thing not from any boutique. I went to this particular place, second hand. I went there. She knows how to look for a grade A. I'm telling you. She has to look for grade A. She will go there, get it well, go and wash. She knows how to wash. She knows how to combine the thing, And I'm like, people are asking you how. So there's so many things you could have done with that. Show people how. People want to look good. People want to dress well, but some people don't have the money to do it. You know where people can get clothes for at a affordable clothes. You can say, okay, no problem. How much do you have? No problem. Give it to me. I'll help you source for this something, and then you collect your business. That's how business starts. Like I said, a need, and then who you want to do it for. Come,
Yeah.
I will help you sort for it. No, I collect my money, I collect my money, I collect my money. And then from now, sorting for you, I will now show you how to combine it. That's
true.
another area. That's another business on its own. As another business on its own. I'll show you how to combine the colors.
Wow.
That's for some people that want to do sell. You know, you can sell. You can start your own business selling clothes. No problem. I will show you how to set it up. You understand? And that's one skill that you have. So many businesses can start from that one skill that you have of combining colors. And I saw her begging for 1,000. I almost, and apart from that, she knows how to take pictures. She knows how to pose. She knows how to, and I'm like, I know that you know how to use your phone well to take fine pictures. A lot of people don't know how to take pictures. Even business owners who need to, now everybody has to go online. Everybody has to go online. But online is a matter of sight. So show people how to take pictures or fine pictures. A lot of people, you see people who are even selling clothes, but it's not well arranged, it's not well combined together. You can take the picture. Show them show people how to take fine images of their products, of their service, of their product. Put it together. That's another business. Use your skill of how you have that phone. You're already using the data to do. Forgive my movement,
because you're really hitting the nail.
And I'm like, this phone that you have, this talent that you have in taking the images, people need it. People need to know how people have phones. Can you people spending so much money buying phone, big phone, and what are you doing with it? I am on Instagram scrolling checking other people's lives, see people living their lives. Meanwhile, you're using your data, you're using your phone. You can use all those things to make your own money.
Yeah, that's
them. Can you imagine this girl sitting on
a gold mine and then begging
for 1,000?
Wow. It's ignorance. They said no knowledge.
Knowledge. So knowledge has to do, like I said, with your hands, whatever your hands, then the other hand, like I said, they have. That things that come unconsciously, like things that come easily to you. Your passions, your hobbies, like for like I said, for me, my passion was helping people, as in solving problems, things that come easily to you.
My passion is to teach. And anything to just start simplify it for someone.
And right now, people need people need teachers right now. But people like somebody at a depth of understanding. People that can teach them what to do. True. And the reason is that a lot of people that have these things, what happens is that because they sit and say, what is this among so many? I only have 5 loaves, and I have this, and people that they underestimate what they have because they're like, what is this among so many? It's not enough. What is this? My own tiny thing that I have. Not knowing that that's your tiny thing. Work it out. Work it out.
Wow.
And then start from where you are. Like I said, and some people that for any field that you want, and for any field, you can either create your own niche in the field, like this girl that I'm talking about now. I'm sure that other people, I haven't really seen anybody who as in multi-talented like that, quote and unquote, from what I was able to break down from what I saw in her, as in just either you how do I put it this way? Okay, either you start it and be the what we call the first mover, and that is in people now see what they're doing and they were like, oh, I have this skill, I have this talent now, and they rush after you. Or maybe it's a field that is already saturated. I like, this is already saturated. Now, how can I come in? But we tell people that on any field, there is a 0 to 10 scale. Where zero is I have no knowledge. 1 is a beginner something. And then 10 is the people that are the experts. But really, honestly, there's really no expert in anything, because everybody wants, even people that you thought are the experts, want to know more. Yes, because you can't stay where you are. Once you've plateaued, you've reached there, There's nothing to like to live to life again now. So you have to keep, as in this thing I'm doing. How do I keep moving,
Wow.
moving? I mean, if you think I'm an expert in this, what else? I mean, you have to have a reason to wake up every day. To wake up every day. To wake up every day. Something has to change. There has to be, something new, flavor.
Wow.
So if you think you've gotten to the end of it, I mean, push
You
it
will
because
just push it.
make number 11 there. So do a self-assessment. So this thing that I want to go into, what level am I at? And you have to be truthful to yourself. Am I on number one?
You have not finished our key, so
Sorry. I is information.
information.
I is information. Yeah.
Mhm.
Let people
Okay.
have access to. Let people have access to. As into now, in this day and age, this is information. We are in the era of information overload.
Overload.
Information overload. But
Mm.
inside the information that is actually coming across to you, like I said, our needs, our challenges. We hear, like for instance, now some people have become COVID-19 experts. In fact, experts. They can tell you they've already seen what the life after COVID-19. They've already seen everything. They've already seen the challenges. But in all those challenges, ask yourself. Now people are working virtually, people are doing this, all those things. What are you doing with the information that is coming across to you? See Zoom now. I mean, Zoom, that's the platform that people now use. Zoom.
Yeah.
Before COVID, I mean, people don't even know what Zoom was all about.
Zoom is all about. But now it's Zoom.
But now I heard the revenue is even much more than four of the. I heard, is it four of the airlines, the four biggest airlines you have in the world. Zoom revenue is now like, can you imagine?
Airlines with massive aircraft. So
I'm telling you, Zoom, an online platform, has overtaken them. So inside the information that you are overloading yourself with are things that God is opening your eyes to see. What do I have that I can use to meet a need? We have now prepared. Now schools have been shut down now. Children are at home. Parents are at their wits' end. They don't know what to do with the children. Like you said in your interview yesterday with your guests. You know, the parents cannot even teach their children. They don't even know what to do with them. I'm telling you, when you have the skill, you can teach toddlers, you can teach children. Or apart from some people are even like, okay, I don't want my children to just, it's not just book. I want them to learn something. Meanwhile, you know how to cook. Do you understand? Parents are bored. You know, it's the same recipe of rice and beans. Meanwhile, you know how to combine recipes, you know how to do this and that. Go out there, show people what it is that they can do. I mean, show children's recipes. I mean, I went to somebody's page and I'm like, you see how she designs ordinarily eba that we eat starch. It was in form of a meat pie. It had the shape of meat pie. You know, where it had all the lines, you know. One had, it was like a kind of a sausage roll. Give a child that kind of meal. Will the child not immediately eat your eba?
Eat. Wow.
I'm telling you, innovation. Wow. Inside the information, how are you doing the innovation? How are you coming out with things that can start a business? Yeah. Okay. The S.
Yeah. Okay, we must get everything because our time is running. You must finish this SSO.
Okay. The S is your story. You know, the S is your story. Everybody has a story. And inside that story, and inside that, like you were saying now, all the online experts always tell you that every brand has a story. Every business has a story that it started. The Walmart. In fact, I was watching something on, was it BBC last week? I was there was this is like a Disney, but it's actually is made for especially done for people that have children with special needs. You know, either autism or something. And it's actually very massive, and I think it's in France. You know, and I asked the guy, how did you start this? And he said that he had a child, 2 children who were autistic. And anytime they go to the Disneys and they want to talk to other children, that children don't understand them. So the children end up feeling sad, feeling left out, and they go into depression and all that. I was like, okay, there has to be something that I can do to help these children. So if my own children are feeling this way, that means there are other children who have special needs. So So what can I do? And that's how we set up that quote unquote Disney for special needs children. I mean,
Wow.
I was so, so just see parents with special needs. So it's like he's not going,
They
he's even
also
moving
have
beyond
the
that.
place.
They're not,
Yeah.
they're not creating a community where everybody,
Wow.
because the parents have, it's the same pain that they're going through. So when I
Yeah.
talk to you, I feel your pain. I feel your pain. I feel your pain.
And I understand you.
I
So they
understand
draw
you.
strength from each other.
Yes.
Mm.
So
Wow.
what story do you have? What
Mm.
story do you have? That from that story I can create something out of it that can turn into a business. I've told you my
Wow.
own story. It was
Yeah.
from my own story that Beamaz came up.
Come
And people
up.
ask me, what does Beamaz mean? I said Beamaz just simply means light. It means
Mm.
illumination. And it simply means
Mm.
BEAM. Instead of the ERS, we just did AZ for
Mm.
brand now, for a fizzy
Yeah.
matter now. you know. And
Beamaz.
what
Yeah.
we just want to do that when we come into your life, everybody has a light to shine. So when I
Mm.
come into your space, into your life, I come in, I beam my light, and then you go out there, I beam my light into you. You don't remain
You
the
and you
same.
go out
You
there,
go out
you
there,
do
go
your
beam
own
your
life.
light. Number, I say everybody go and keep beaming, keep beaming, keep beaming, keep
Mm.
beaming, keep beaming. Even our logo represents that. We see all the lights. And then we come in and then we don't just come in and do one area of your life. It's the whole area of your life that I want to do. Your business, your life, do you understand? Because
Yeah.
we know that if I start with the work of your hands, either you're on a job or you're running your own business, do you
Mm-hmm.
understand? It is your life because it is basically your life that
Yeah.
everything surrounds on. Yeah. So our mission is not. So our tagline is we nurture businesses with touchlights because either
Mm.
it's a job or whatever, we come in and we touch you.
What's your
So
life?
the S, so that
The
S
last
is
yes.
the last S is stuff. Stuffs.
Stop.
STUFF. Stuffs.
Okay.
People stuff. What do you have? Stuffs. Your stuffs.
Let's
Hmm.
go.
You'll be surprised that a lot of people have things that that they can actually turn into a business. Remember, we're talking about somebody who has a phone who
Yeah.
can take beautiful pictures with
Peikumo.
that phone. Yeah. In fact, at the time that was online, I saw
Mm.
somebody who was doing an online course, phone photography. Guess how much was charging for phone photography?
Mm.
Was supposed to be online and everything. She was charging 50K. 50K for me to teach you how to
Okay.
take pictures with your phone.
With your
And
phone.
and and about 30 people signed up. Let's do the calculations. Let's do the calculations. The
30.
50,000 times 30 people that
Mm.
showed up and was
Mm.
just her phone, showing you how to use your phone to take fantastic pictures, and that was it. So a lot of us have things that we have in our houses, that we're not using. And that's a good example is us as well. We have an office where we do trainings and all that. And I realize that
Mm.
half of the time, when we don't do trainings, my training room is there, and we have rooms as well where we don't use. And I know that when people come to my office, like my friends, they be like, Jakarta office is fine, oh. Forgive me. I know my office is very colorful, it's attractive. When people have trains, people don't want to go again, or they come and check, please, can you just come and work and just sit down? Sit down, use my internet, sit down, use my light, use my everything. And I'm like, why can't I turn this into a co-work space? Where people also my training room as well. Other people that have trainings, let them come and use it for a very small fee.
Small amount
My
of
room,
money.
no amount of money. I have meeting rooms. I did okay. You have stuff, that you're not doing anything with, and that's
That's
how we
true.
just running the whole place and turn to all the rooms you're not using, turn them into, I mean,
Something.
into
Something.
something. And now post
Wow.
COVID, now my brain has also spawned. I've seen the how people because
Because
now
we are
people
running out of time.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
We're running out of time. Okay.
So let's do so the other the ones the ONCE are the O is opportunities. Opportunity,
Okay.
that's the external. You looking
Okay.
out now. Opportunities. N is at the needs.
Okay. The
Needs.
needs.
Needs around,
Mm.
yeah. Then the
Yeah,
C
we're
are the
running. We're
challenges.
running. We're running.
Challenges.